Alright, fuck it. Let's piss some people off today. So, after perusing the fucking interwebs all night because I've got nothing better to do because nobody's stupid enough to fuck around and find out on this particular property, I have to speak the truth because that's what we're called to do, supposedly as good Christian men. The Quran speaks of Muhammad marrying a 12-year-old. Mm-hmm. You know what also speaks of marrying children? And this is why I don't consider myself a Christian, really. I stand in the circle. The Bible itself speaks of Lot and his daughters. It speaks of Noah, whose wife was 14. It speaks of Ismail. It speaks of Abraham. It speaks of just all of this crap. And people sit there and they say, well, the Bible doesn't extol pedophilia. The Queen of Sheba was 12, right? Just like fucking Muhammad's wife, Ish. Sorry. Make me want to throw up because that's way too fucking young, man. Sorry, but no. That is fucking way too young. Hell, 16's too young. Fucking 18 still. Nah. I mean, it's legal, but nah. Too young. They haven't even fucking lived any kind of life. They don't know anything about the world. They have no recollection of what the world is. They have no idea what the fuck they are doing. When I was a young man, I was with an 18-year-old, and, I'm really sorry I ever was, because once you've had one virgin, it's like, why? And then, again, I was 21, that's when that actually happened. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, what? No. Fuck no. It was role reversal after my fiance, because when I was a young, dumb virgin, I thought, well, I love this woman. I want to be with her for the rest of my life. And she didn't want to be with me because I didn't know fuck all about being good in bed. So there you go. This is why you're not supposed to actually feed into that crap. All right? This is why you're not supposed to put up with that. Oh, by the way, I'm not a Muslim. That's a fucking stocking cap, you jackasses. On top of my hat. So, no, I don't hold with either side of this fucking coin. I think that y'all are both pieces of shit. Those of you who say, well, you're just a hater of Christianity. No, motherfucker. I was raised Catholic. I studied that Bible more than you have. Remember, high-functioning autistic here. I studied that Bible front to back, cover to cover, top to bottom, inside and out, over and over and over again to fill in the gaps during class when everybody else was reading out of their textbooks because they were too busy fucking around during time when they were supposed to be doing their homework or something or their chores. They were out fucking off and doing stupid shit as kids and didn't learn anything. I enjoyed learning. So here's where I realized that God is a sham. Just like everything else I say is a sham, God is a sham. Religion is a method for making people believe shit in order to gain profits from them. Do you know how I know this? I used to be a Knight of Columbus. I used to actually be the guy walking around as an usher carrying that plate at Mass. I know where that money goes. And no, it does not go to those who are in need. You know where it goes? Rome. Goes to the Vatican. You're welcome. So now you know that it is a scam. Now you realize that the Church of Philadelphia is a scam. This is why it says in Revelations, if you've ever studied the fucking Bible, with you, the seven angels of the seven churches, I find aught. And I set myself against you for what you have done ill against my people. Maybe you guys didn't pay attention when you were in Sunday school. I don't know. I wasn't interested in the chick in front of me and whether or not her panties were on backwards. I cared what God saw because I was the son of the catechist. Yeah, I'm Mrs. Price's son. I'm the guy who was literally the one who knew too much in the classroom, so she told him to say shut up, she told him to shut up and let somebody else do because it wasn't very Christian to always have the answers. God made it so that I always had the answers because he was sick and tired of these preachers telling lies. Because you do not read the Bible. There's nothing in the Bible that says pedophilia is wrong. Did you know that? Did you know that there's nothing in the Bible that says, well, age gaps in marriage is a bad thing? Funny enough, it actually says the opposite. It extols marriages underage. So does the Quran. As a matter of fact, every Middle Eastern religion extols that. Did you know that? Every Middle Eastern religion has stories about ancient fucking men and little girls. And you wonder why I have so much distaste for people sitting there trying to shove their fucking religion down my throat. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you knew this, but there's no AI involved with me. I'm 100% raw and fucking real. What you see is Blaine Price, the actual motherfucker. What you see is the guardsman on. No, I'm not fucking AI whatso goddamn ever. I don't know how else to put this to you other than I couldn't possibly be AI. Because I go on live streams. Because I live in reality. Do you see the difference here? AI can't say the word live. Why? Because phonetic English. That's why. Because to AI, there's no difference between live and live. That's why you get live streams instead of live streams. Ever wonder how I could tell somebody was fucking putting out there some serious goddamn AI slop? That's how. It's not rocket science. Just listen to the fucking words, man. You can tell an actual native English speaker, especially an American English speaker, versus whatever the fuck that shit is. This is why I don't fucking make AI videos. This is why I make videos like this right here, what you're watching. Because I want you to realize there is a difference. Raw footage versus AI slop. So anyways, as I was speaking on, now that all the Christians have left the room because they sit there and they go, he said the freaking, he said the weird word, he called us pedophiles. They left the fucking room, so now we can actually have an honest conversation. All right? Leviticus. Rules for the Jew and the Christian. Because Christ actually said, the rules of the Jew are the rules of the Christian. This is why they said, what is the greatest commandment given to man? Love thy neighbor as thyself, but more so love God more than anything. So, yeah, there you go. But, I digress. The simple fact of the matter is, there's pedophilia all through the Bible. There is pedophilia all through the Quran. There is pedophilia all through the Zariah. And if you don't think so, I want you to go and read your Zariah. You don't know what that is. That's the Bible of the Zoroastrians. Yes, they extol pedophilia as well. You just don't hear about it because it's never preached about anymore. But it's actually there. You see, pedophilia was not always a crime. Don't get me wrong. I fucking very much so think it's wrong. I think that it is an abhorrent thing. Okay? Someone your same age group, someone your same experiences in life is more likely to be able to be your same pace. You see how that works? This is why an 80-year-old man marrying a 20-year-old woman is just out of the fucking realm of even just thought for me. This is why somebody who's my age marrying somebody who's 20 is like, dude, that's a fucking kid. I'd have been 18 by the time they were born. What the fuck? So, yeah, again, I don't extol pedophilia. I think it's abhorrent. This is why I can turn around and say these things about Christianity, because I've read it, I've studied it. I know it's there. Again, Solomon, King Solomon, in his 80s, Seabalba, she was fucking 14. Now, granted, Seabalba and David, they fell in love, sort of thing. But remember where we started with King Solomon and his queen of Sheba, Sheabalba. Do you see what I'm saying here, people? There's a reason why I'm like, whoa, fucking screeching goddamn halt. Yes, the Islamics are fucking weird. I have serious aught with them. At the same time, y'all Christians have seriously got to get a head check, man. Because as somebody who stands in the circle and dances the fire dance, messing with kids is wrong. May your soul and your mind feel the healing wind. You guys make me sick, man. I was raised Catholic. I studied all this shit. Okay? The Bible literally fucking extols marrying your sister, having sex with your daughter, fucking around with children. I can go on. I really can. This is why I don't like it when people sit there and go, well, my religion's better than your religion, and my religion's better than your religion. Motherfucker, you're both wrong. Both of y'all's religions are sick. And before you say, oh, well, Christ wouldn't allow that. Christ was not fucking religious, you jackasses. He said, my Father in heaven, not Yahweh. Ooh. Blaine knows the actual name of God. Wow. Yeah. There you go. I was never enamored by this bullshit. I just wanted to make it so that my mom saw that I was willing to make the effort to know these things because she wanted me to learn them. I wasn't in it for me, I was in it for her. I don't believe in all that crap, people. I don't think you should be messing around with children. I don't think that you should go to war and murder infants. That's what it says in 2 Kings. Before you say, well, the Bible doesn't say that you should go and kill babies. Guess what? And I quote, go therefore into China, set your face against every man, woman, and child. Set them to the sword, that they may return to the righteous place. It does not say give them the opportunity to change their ways. It says that they may return to the righteous place. That's literally fucking end them so that they can go have a conversation with God. Do you understand now, people, who you're praying to? Do you get it? The gods of men are not real God. They do not fucking... there's no such thing as compassion in the gods of men. This is why I dance in the circle. This is why I am Yoaha Kohesia. This is why I'm a Kohesian. Because I believe what you do now echoes in eternity. Everything you do will self-perpetuate itself throughout the entire experience of your soul. Regardless of how many bodies you inhabit, your soul will experience the same things over and over and over and over again. That is the circle. That is self-perpetuating self. All this BS of, well, Christ came to earth to save us from our sins. Yeah, if you'd have fucking listened to him. But you don't. He said, let the children come to me. He did not say, let the children come for me. You sick fucks. When you sit there and you extol the Bible in the same breath as Christ, you are insulting Christ. Why? Because he was trying to change certain aspects of the Bible, certain aspects of the Talmud, because they were wrong and he knew it. This is the difference between a Christian and somebody who is a Christian, in air quotes. A real Christian paid attention to what Christ actually was pointing out. A real Christian understood the parables. A real Christian understood what Christ said to John of Patmos. Not this crap about, oh, well, Christ said that that God is all powerful, this, that, or the other. No, he said, my Father in heaven is all powerful. Which means that somebody who died a long fucking time ago is all fucking all-knowing and all-powerful. Because he sees everything. Because his soul has already crossed the barrier, the threshold of flesh and bone to become something more. This is why you guys are sitting there going, oh, well, you're contradicting yourself. No, I'm fucking quoting the actual Bible, you jackasses. The Bible contradicts itself. This is why I walked away from all that shit. I believe that if you do something, you are doomed to do it over and over and over again. You are doomed to repeat that action until you learn from it. Lo and behold, guess what we do as children and sometimes even as adults. Doing the same thing over and over again until we learn from our mistake. You'll notice I'm really not butthurt about all this. It doesn't bother me that, I'm sitting here fucking literally berating people who are sitting there going, well, I'm a Christian. No, the fuck you aren't. Because if you were a Christian, you would know all of the fucking rules of Leviticus. You would know to pray in a closet, not in a church. You worship in a church. You pray in your own privacy. The words meant for God are not meant for the ears of men. That's directly out of Leviticus. Oh, another one of my favorite ones. The Catholics, they pray to saints to go on their behalf to Christ. To have Christ go on their behalf to God. Rather than going directly to God with their issues. You know what it says in the actual books of Leviticus and Deuteronomy? Take your issuance, therefore, unto God. It says, I am the Lord thy God, thou shalt have no other gods before me. That means your prayers are for him. Not for Jesus. Not for St. Christopher. For the big dog upstairs. It's not St. Christopher's job to fucking carry that shit to God. It's not Jesus' job to fucking carry that shit to God. It's his job to turn around and say to God, you know what? Dad, I think you should probably pay attention to this. He's saying something to you. That's what it's about. And you see this whole bullshit of, well, we prayed to the saint to go on our behalf to the Lord our God. So why didn't the Jews pray to the angels? They believed in the angels. Oh, that's right, because thou shalt have no other gods before me. It's called idolatry. This is why I sit here and I look at all of this BS of just absolute garbage and say, no, you're all wrong. Every last one of you. As a matter of fact, you're so wrong that you've insulted God so many times, I don't want to be part of your cult. Because you've turned it into a cult. I have walked away. I now dance in the circle. I speak with my ancestors, and I expect God to watch me. Because God is the great spirit over us all. I'm not interested in sitting there and fucking praying to the fucking saints to go on my behalf to God. Because that is blasphemy. God calls you to be strong. Going right back to 2 Kings, the parable of war. The record of war. God went unto Joshua and said, go therefore into Canaan, and set your face against every man, woman, and child. Set them to the sword that they may return to their righteous place and stand before God. What I didn't mention was the next line where it says, leave none of them alive. Slaughter everything. The cattle, the sheep, the goats. All the living creatures of the land. Destroy the idols. Melt down the gold. And take what is living and make an offering unto the Lord God in heaven. So now you see, all of it, all of your bullshit, is just that. It's bullshit. This is why I don't fucking listen to you guys. When somebody comes to my house and goes, have you heard the good word of Jesus Christ? I go, yeah. You want to come in and have a beer? We'll talk about Christ. I got some choice words for that motherfucker. Honest to God truth. When it comes down to it, the one person I can be honest with and honest about is the Christian God. Because it is a facade of the real God. It is a facade of eternity. You know what eternity is? That's the real entity. That's the real being that is all-knowing, all-power, omnipresent, omnipotent, all that crap. The beginning and the end, omega, this, that, and the other. Alpha, yeah, all that. Eternity. Time forwards and backwards. That is God. Everything you know. Not this bullshit of an entity that you can comprehend. You can't comprehend this crap. You literally can't. If God dropped down in your lap right now, you would not be able to fucking know what it was. You'd have no idea. Because God is not something that you can comprehend. That's why Metatron is supposed to be this fucking spool of eyes revolving around eyes, revolving around eyes, revolving around eyes. It's literally just man's interpretation of an alien force, a machine. Listen to the name. It's in the name. Metatron. Think about what you're literally sitting here on right now. You're watching me from a computer or from your TV or from some other device that is hooked into the internet. That is Metatron. The all-knowing, all-seeing archangel. Oh, see, I'm sitting here actually making freaking headway on things that most people wouldn't be able to, and you wouldn't know unless you actually watch my videos. This is why, you know, all of this stuff is not going to end up like going very far. I'm not going to get the kind of views I should on this, because the reality of it is it's going to piss off every Christian out there, and they're going to fucking sit there and, fuck that guy. And guess what? They did the same thing to Christ. They stuck his ass on a cross, hung him high, and stabbed him in the chest for saying, you say that I am. Do you understand now what he was saying? What he was actually doing? He was pointing out your tomfoolery. He was pointing out your religiosity. He was pointing out your hypocrisy. Whether you are Jewish, you're Islamic, you're Christian, you're Zoroastrian, you're any of all of these freaking religions, all religions have something right, but they have most of everything wrong. Why? Because they tell you to pray to something else instead of find God within yourself. Learn to be one with Him. This is why when people go, oh, well, Buddhism teaches that, I go, no, it doesn't. It teaches you to be one with the earth, not with God. And not with God in yourself. It teaches you to be one with all living things. God isn't life. He is eternity. Our planet is a small fucking dust speck. One cell in the body of God. Our universe is one organ in the body of God. You literally live in a fantasy land, but you sit there and you tell me, you're delusional, bro. Really? I'm delusional. But, children believe in Santa Claus and y'all motherfuckers vote. Who's delusional? Food for thought.